Simula na naman ng isang bagong umaga.
Nagpapatuloy po ang Go Negosyo Talks, Meet the Presidentiable Series at kasama pa rin po natin si Vice President Jejo Marbinay. Sir, ano ho masasabi nyo na tila bumababa na nga po ang ranking ninyo sa mga surveys at pati po sa Makati Business Club na isa rin pong businessmen's group, hindi po maganda ang naging showing nyo sa isang survey po doon?
Nung una, nagkaroon ng epekto. In fact, bumaba ako ng 10 points nung unang survey. Nung isang, marami kasi, palagay ko, pati ikaw, Luchi, kasama na sa nagugulat sa mga resulta ng survey. Biro mo naman yung unang survey, yung sa Radio Mindanao Network, number 1 ako. Ang respondents doon, 4,000. Tsaka diretso yung radyo eh. Hindi, walang panahon para doktorin yung resulta. Mamaya, eto na yung isang nagsasurvey. Ako, number 3. Kinabukasan, number 2 na ako. Yung isa naman, nag-umpisa, ako, number 2. Kinabukasan, number 3 na ako. Pero, let's go back dun sa ako'y bumababa. Alam mo, bumaba ako ng 10 points, bumaba ako ng 5 points, pero nakabalik na uli ako doon. Pero maganda lamang doon sa survey na yun, yung core group ko nandun pa. Yung core group ko, natanggap yung as against perception by demolition.
Gano'ng kalaki po yung core na yun?
Depende lang sa survey. Kasi mayroong iba matataas eh. Pero kung 25 sa isang survey, 25 pa rin ako. Kung yung sinasabi 32, 33, 32, 33 ko. Pero what I was about to say, Luchi, is, alam mo, yung core group ko, o marami na ngayon, sumasama na, tumataas na yung rating ko. Alam mo, kasi namili na sila eh. Yung bang perception by demolition ng corruption, as against solid evidence of my competence as an executive.
Being a president, there's no compromise or there's too many compromises. What are your core values that you will never compromise?
Me?
Yes.
Principally, I have to tell you that there is no compromise when I was a mayor. No compromise in drug cases. No compromise at all.
What about, sir, about the friends that you are with? In the businessmen that you're with, if they come to you and tell you, sir, let's make a deal, what are you going to tell them?
Minus the deal. Minus the deal. I will not enter into a deal. But I don't see anything wrong in getting a friend who is very qualified. Gary Tevez is a friend, but I think he's qualified. What will prevent us from getting guys who are qualified? Yang ganyan, friend?
Business favors, friend, sir. Business favors, friend. A friend who wants a business favor.
Mahirap naman yun. Napaka-conclusive naman yun. Nakagad mo yun. Dahil sa friend, makikipag-business deal.
That's why I said your core value must be very important to you. What will you never compromise?
What to me, if it is not right, I will not allow it.
Thank you.
If it is leading to graft and corruption, I will not enter into that kind of transaction.
Thank you.
All right.
Mr. Vice President, I think there was already deteriorating crimes already, here, not only Metro Manila, but the whole country, the country as a whole, especially on drugs, especially even on heinous crimes. If you become the president, are you going to impose back the death penalty, or do you think that will be a deterrent? Because right now,
Alam mo, pare, I will admit, because I was interviewed in the past, sa galit ko dun dahil sa biro mo yung anak niya, pinatay ng karnaper, etc., etc. But those were several years. But now, I can tell you straight in the eyes, I'm against death penalty. Kasi hindi lang naman yun reason para ma-prevent mo yung criminality. There are still other things that can be done para ma-alis mo yung criminality. Pero there's no, sa buong mundo, marami na ngayon walang death penalty. It only proves na talagang hindi ka tanggap-tanggap talaga yung as a remedy against criminality. Ang problema kasi pare, kaya yung iba nakakapag-isip ng yung death penalty dahil sa tagal ng kaso. Pagka na-convict na, 5-10 taon bago pa ma-execute. So, pero going back, talagang ako, I'm against death penalty.
Ngayon naman po, ang tanong namin sa inyo ay napaka-importante talaga. Talaga hubang si Gringo, nasa na po ang inyong napupusuang Vice President katandem?
Hintayin na lamang ho natin ng Lunes. Pero masasabi ko lamang, kung sakasakali, una na, bingo pa.
Hindi bihon, sir. Ang dami hong nagtatanong kung maari daw hubang ibahagi nyo sa amin ang naging usapin ninyo ni Bongbong Marcos. At yun po kasi ang sa mahabang panahon ay inaakala ng marami na siyang magiging katandem ninyo.
Yung mahabang panahon, sabihin natin, buwan na pag-uusap. Kung paano ba magtutugma yung kanilang mga paniniwala, at saka yung aming mga pinanggalingan, sabihin natin may mga constraints. Pero dahil sa dumating na panahon na kailangan talagang aminin na yung political constraints na yun hindi mariresolve, so we both agreed, hindi na pwedeng pagpatuloy yung tandem.
Mr. Vice President, again, natuwa ho kami, narinig namin na ibababa ninyo ang tax rate. No? And that will favor a lot of yung business sector especially. Ngayon, sa current administration, may mga proposals din na ganyan, subalit isilang tabi. Dahil nga daw masisira ang fiscal balance, makakaroon ng deficit. Sa ano paniniwala po ninyo? Is that something po that will really concern you, or kayo po ba ay committed to really bring down the tax rates, which will really help a lot of business sector and provide better disposable income
Tax,
for
yes.
even for
Bracketing.
individuals and corporate?
Alam mo, Mon, sabi ko na nga ba, hindi mawawala itong magtatanong ko sa taxes. Pero I will be revealing to you so many facts na hindi totoo.
Okay.
Okay? The Philippines is currently the second highest personal income tax rate, 32%, and the highest corporate income tax rate, 30%, among its ASEAN peers. The current tax system puts too much burden on working class taxpayers and very little on well-off individuals. Up to 85% with the total collection of individual income taxes is paid by the working class, while only 15% comes from self-employed individuals and professionals. Currently, our income tax rates range from 5% for those earning $10,000 a year to 32% for employees earning $500,000 and above. Therefore, the top bracket of $500,000 has remained unchanged since 1986. Pero ang mas revealing dito, hindi ho totoo yung sinasabing maaapektuhan yung ating
Ang concern po dyan ay bababa nga po ang revenue collections ng gobyerno at saka pati daw po yung ating credit standing ay baka maapektuhan. Kayo ba'y naniniwala ron?
Kasi hanapin ko lang ito. How much is the government expected to lose if the tax reform bill is passed? Alam po ninyo mga kababayan, an overhaul of the income tax system is estimated to cost the government 30 billion pesos per year. This amount is little less than 1%. Little less than 1% of the proposed 2016 national budget of 3 trillion pesos and about 0.23% of GDP. The amount is also less compared to the government's estimated underspending of 500 billion pesos in 2015. So, hindi ho totoo yung bang pinaiiral na nakakatakot. These are facts.
Yung credit grade po. nabababa raw yung ating S&P. Halimbawa, ngayon, ang ganda na, di ba? Standard & Poor's rating natin. Ang fear po nila ay baka bumaba raw yun pagka binabaan din natin ang
Hindi naman yun kasi sa konti ko nalalaman, yung credit rating, tinitignan mo naman nga kung ano magiging epekto nun sa pamamahala. Dahil sa yung
walang
credit
kinalaman
rating,
sa buwis.
wala naman, hindi naman, walang kinalaman doon sa pagbaba ng 1% lamang. In fact, tataas pa nga incidentally, sa isang banda, naalala ko, tataas pa ang ating magiging revenue ng gobyerno dahil sa yung mga mabibigyan ng karagdagan na pera, gagastusin. Alam mo yun,
At
di ba?
taas ng tax.
Spending.
Oo.
That's right.
Actually, Lucy, related to that, maybe we can share with the President, Vice President,
Thank you. Alam mo,
Oh, sorry.
Mukhang gusto magpa-appoint,
alam mo,
Mr. Vice President.
sa
Gusto yata DTI.
kasi nakikita ko si Mike.
Nadulas.
Alam mo, in the rule of evidence sa batas, yung mga unguarded moments. Heavy ang kwan nun
Yan ang
credibility.
part of the rest just stay.
Actually, share ko lang ng good news kay Mr. Vice President na actually there's a point na pag mataas ang taxes mo, bababa at bababa na rin ang revenue. And therefore, there is some rationalization na hindi mo kailangan dagdagan ng tax. Kundi pag binabaan mo pa ang tax, mas tataas po ang revenue talaga. May mga pag-aaral po na gano'n na lumalabas and multiplier effect. And also the efficiency, it will be a broader base of taxpayers now as it will incentivize or encourage people to pay taxes.
At saka
Good news na good
hindi
news
lang
sa
naman yun.
negosyante.
Alam mo, yung mabababang 1%, mababawi pa yun kung magkakaroon ng strict enforcement, ang tax collection, ang tax management. So, di ba?
Marami naman pong nawawala lang ang gamit sa used funds ng walang pakinabang. Tama lang yung magkolekta ng tama.
Saka pangdagdag din na Lucina, Mr. Vice President, talaga naman dapat siguro talagang babaan na. Nakita naman talaga natin sa ASEAN, sa iba't ibang bansa, yung corporate at individual tax rates nila. At dito sa atin, parang double book. Kasi mataas na nga yung tax rate, pataas din yung VAT. 12%. No? So dapat siguro magkaroon ng balanse. At isa pang bagay, how about yung smuggling? Ang daming pera nawawala sa smuggling. Isipin mo kung kaya nating pigilin ang perwisyo na yan na ilang taon na yan at hindi talaga nagagawa ng paraan, gaano kalaki na ang mga estimate ng mga iba't ibang mga institusyon, ADB, World Bank, even Transparency International, all these institutions have said that the Philippines is losing so much because of smuggling. Ano po ang gagawin nyo? Ang unang gagawin nyo? Kaya po ba naniniwalang dapat nang i-privatize ang Bureau of Customs?
Pinaaral ko na po yan. Kasi this is not the first time. In the past, pinurbahan natin yun. Kaya lang, something went wrong. And sabi ko, yung SGS, di ba? Yung bala, SGS, yung hindi na nila inaasahang bayaran, binayaran pa ng gobyerno. Hindi lumabas lang sa dyaryo. Anyway, pero yun talaga, dito naman, when we talk of efficiency and effectiveness, it's always the private sector. Isa ito, katulad ng PAGCOR. Yan, dapat yung Bureau of Customs, siguro ibigay yun sa private sector. Yun lang, titignan ko lang maigi, pinaaral ko na yun kung bakit hindi pinagpatuloy sa SGS na. Something went wrong along the way. But definitely, sir, yan ang dapat at baguhin sa graft and corruption. Kasi araw-araw, balita ko po, milyon-milyon ang nawawala sa ating gobyerno. Dagdag yun doon sa traffic, milyon-milyon din ang nawawala sa traffic. Kasi kailangan talaga ng marunong may executive ability, nalalaman kung paano ang pamumuno.
At dahil lang po dyan sa mga buwis na yan, ay nakangiti na po lahat ng mga negosyante dito sa forum na ito. Pero baka nakakalap kayo ng mga supporters.
Kasi
bigla.
Luchi, ito marami dito nagninegosyo. Pati pa yung corporate tax. Kasi 30% yun eh.
Meron nga hong memorandum circular na... What about the memorandum circular now na nagsasabing dapat daw ay buwisan na rin ang mga sari-sari store owners?
Pati karinderya.
Pati mga karinderya. Ano ho masasabi
Ayaw
niyo
mo?
dyan?
itong BIR dapat mag-focus to doon sa mga big tax evaders. Ito naman, biro mo naman to. Yung mawari-wari, magta-tricycle. Sabi ko nga kagad, yung remember mo kanina, tira yata kami sa Makati. Basta ako, ginawa ko yun eh. Basta nga yung mga sari-sari store na maliit ang kita, wala na exempted. Ang orasan nila, yun, yung mga big tax evaders. Ito naman, dagdag pa, kawawa na naman yan. Bali ba naman, ang talagang iniinda ang graft and corruption, yung mga maliliit na tao. Yung peso value ng mahirap is malaking bagay yan. Kung ikukumpara mo doon sa mayaman, ano ba yung piso, pinamimigay lang yan.
All of this administration, there have been these elusive dreams of trying to achieve self-sufficiency in rice. Now, in your administration, do you think you could achieve really a self-sufficiency in rice?
Sir, bago niyo po sagutin yan, tayo po muna ay magko-commercial break ulit. Pero hindi pa po tayo tapos. Magbabalik po ang Go Negosyo Talks, Meet the Presidential Series. Huwag po kayong aalis.